The text of Romeo and Juliet by Shakespeare and Deadliana by Philip Quine are both known for their characteristic cultural voice. Shakespeare employs the highly idealized ideas of honor and true love popular in the Elizabethan age which he lived in. Quine uses more modern terms in his setting of 1998 Australia, using racism and Australian slang to relate to the reader and give his characters life and a three-dimensional shape. In his play, Shakespeare immediately sets his main characters as nobles and high class. Romeo is the only heir of Lord Montague, whose titles and wealth makes him influential in the politics of Verona, only under the prince himself. Juliet likewise is the only heir of Lord Capulet, who shares the same position of Lord Montague. The classiness of these people are displayed by their education of classic literature and ability to rhyme. She will not be hit with Cupid's arrow. She has Dian's wit. Act 1, Scene 1. This casual reference to Roman mythology tells the reader of his classical education, which is only available to the high class. Even the art of reading, which seems elementary to us modern-day people, was a huge class divider. The small speech by Capulet's servant in Act 1, Scene 2 shows his inability to read names on a simple letter, and so he, quote, must go to the learned. Other cultural values at the time is how patriarchal the play is with its small roles given to women. Juliet is not allowed to find her own partner. That is left to her father, Lord Capulet, and not even her mother, Lady Capulet, has a say in her daughter's future, and yet must deliver the ultimatum of Lord Capulet to marry Juliet to Paris, a man of wax. Act 1, Scene 3. There is no better demonstration of the suppression of women than in Act 3, Scene 5, where Juliet refuses to marry Paris and Lord Capulet becomes infuriated, hurling verbal abuse at his own daughter. You green sickness carrying, you baggage, you tallow face, and threatens beatings. My fingers itch, even wishing that this only child, but now I see this one as too much. In his mind, his daughter is his property, and is meant to be entirely obedient to him. And you be mine, I'll give you to my friend, and you not hang, beg, starve, die in the streets, ending his lecture later with disobedient wretch. Instead, the culture at the time focused more on masculine virtues such as honor and revenge. Shakespeare makes this clear in his play with Act 3, Scene 3, where Romeo faces off with his counterpart, Tybalt. Tybalt challenges Romeo over his lost honor, but Romeo refuses. I see thou knowest me not. Mercutio, Romeo's friend, feels that Romeo is being effeminate and not defending his honor. O calm, dishonorable, vile submission, and so stands up against Tybalt for Romeo. Even the prologue maintains this theme of honor when describing the feuds between the Capulets and Montagues, both alike in dignity. Prologue. We can assume that the reason for the fights that break out is honor. In Act 1, Scene 1, we see Gregory and Samson bite their thumbs at the Montagues, who quickly take to arms against the insult, going from a verbose interaction, do you bite your thumb at us, sir, to physical conflict, draw if you be men, another insult to someone's honor as a man. A closely related theme of honor is revenge, upholding someone else's honor when spat upon. It was culturally valued more than your own honor, and Shakespeare uses this as well in his play. After Mercutio fights Tybalt for Romeo's honor in Act 3, Scene 3, he dies at Tybalt's hand. It is then Romeo's duty to avenge Mercutio by slaying Tybalt. Mercutio's soul is but a little way above our heads. Either thou or I or both must go with him. That is Elizabethan issues. Philip Quine constructs a more relatable culture closer to our own time in his book Deadliana. The main character of Deadliana is Blackie, a white boy that plays AFL and has a very condescending attitude, yet is troubled by the things he sees around him. Blackie does not conform to the general attitudes of the public that racially divides whites, Gunias, and the Aboriginal people, Nungas. Quine uses Blackie as a bridge between these two split worlds. Blackie starts interacting with Aboriginal people but denies affiliation, choosing to appeal with his previous world, but that starts to change when he falls in love with an Aboriginal girl and starts a relationship. Blackie befriends her brother and starts resisting common views against Aboriginal and sides with them instead. As the story reaches its climax, Blackie goes from an emotional high by winning at the grand finals to an abyss when his friend, his brother-in-law, is shot. He is torn between his ties with the whites and the Aboriginals, but breaks the trend and appears at the funeral. The story of Blackie's transformation is one that the reader closely observes, and combined with Quine's construction of his voice and personality, feels closely connected with.